Okay.
Okay.
All right. It being 7 o'clock, I will call the select board meeting for Wednesday, June 18th, 2025 to order. First up on our agenda is reorganization of the board. I will accept any nominations for chair.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to nominate Mary Rose Dickow as chairman.
Okay. Any other nominations?
Madam Chair, I nominate Julie Cruz.
Okay. Do we have to do the first vote or do we do it by? We have to do first, or I guess no one second.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
could we have a little bit of discussion first?
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure. I don't think anyone seconded. So discuss it.
I just wanted to point out that Mary Rose has served in the position of chair of this board for more years than all the rest of us combined. She has the experience, temperament, and the ability to lead the town, will lead this board. And she's also the only member of this board that's participated in the hiring of any town administrators, and actually has participated in the hiring of all three that the town has had over the years. So I think she's would be a good fit for this board going forward. That's my opinion.
Any further discussion? Do we have to vote once and then vote for the second person? Or do we just say all in favor of?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I guess you can take them individually. Yeah, if you, to,
Okay. All in favor of Mary Rose Dickow?
Aye.
Aye. And 2. Opposed?
Oh,
3?
Sure.
Okay. All in favor of Julie Bruce?
aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed?
Opposed. 2. Okay. 3-0. Julie Bruce for chair. I'll accept any nominations for vice chair.
Madam Chair, I nominate Matt Cobus.
Any other nominations? Any
Madam
discussion?
Chair, I'd nominate
Go ahead.
Mr. Carrot. Mr. Carrot.
Okay. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor of Matt Cobus for vice chair, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed?
All those in favor of Sean Kerrigan as chair,
Aye.
or vice chair, excuse me. 2 opposed.
Aye.
You gotta break the.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm opposed. Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to nominate Sean Carrigan for clerk.
Any other nominations? All those in, any discussion? All those in favor of Sean Kerrigan as clerk, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Next up on our agenda is public comment. Is there anyone here for public comment? Okay, would you like to go first? Okay. If you don't mind stating your name and address, please.
Sure. My name is Robert Craig. I live at 307 Richfield Avenue, Richfield Circle. I'd like to thank Sean Kerrigan for contacting me and giving me the opportunity to come speak to you tonight. I'd also like the opportunity to thank each and every one of you individually for the service that you're rendering for this community. Earlier this month, after attending the annual town meeting, I wrote this board a letter to deplore the actions of the Trump regime with respect to its policy of rounding up and deporting large groups of people whose only crime is coming to the United States in search of a better life for themselves and their families without the proper paperwork, and inquire what the town's policy is concerning cooperating with those efforts by the government. In that letter, I cited several instances where the government's actions appalled me. Since then, the situation has only gotten worse. We have seen masked Rambo wannabe goons, full SWAT regalia and armed with assault rifles, like they're going into Fallujah to take out ISIS, bursting into restaurants in American communities during the lunch hour to seize busboys, cooks, and waiters, or as Trump likes to refer to them, rapists, murderers, and terrorists. In Los Angeles, armed ICE units apprehended more rapists, protect murderers and terrorists who are hanging out at the local Home Depot seeking day labor gigs. And the people of Los Angeles reacted to these unnecessary displays of excessive force with peaceful protests. Trump and his thuggish acolytes, Stephen Miller, Kristi Noem, and Tom Homan, doubled down. He illegally federalized the California National Guard over the objections of the state's governor and sent 4,000 armed troops into downtown LA. When the people of Los Angeles refused to be cowed by this egregious abuse of power, Trump ordered an additional 700 U.S. Marines sent in violation of the Posse Comitatus Act. That personally terrifies me because my son is a staff sergeant in the U.S. Marines, and I'm horrified by the idea that he might be handed a weapon of war and told to go out and control a crowd of American citizens expressing their righteous outrage. We've seen government officials, mayors, members of Congress, even the United States Senator, accosted, thrown to the ground, handcuffed, or arrested by men in civilian clothes who carry no badges and refuse to identify themselves. Senator Padilla said on the floor of the Senate yesterday that while he was being handcuffed and dragged away from DHS Secretary Noem's press conference, he repeatedly asked why he was being detained and never received an answer. And it's not just California. According to USA Today, at least 1,500 migrants have been rounded up so far here in Massachusetts, including Marcelo Gomes da Silva, an 11th grader at Milford High School, who's lived here since he was 7 years old, and Rumeza Atzer, a Turkish graduate student and Fulbright scholar who was studying at Tufts University under the auspices of a student visa. What makes this crisis worthy of a response from this board is the fact that there is no legal basis for Trump's actions. He simply declared that there was an emergency and invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which has only been invoked 3 times before in American history: War of 1812, World War I, and World War II, to justify his actions. Yet the fact of the matter is, there is no emergency except in Trump's head. The United States has not and is not being invaded. There are no foreign troops on American soil. The president has not requested and Congress has not issued a declaration of war. And Trump's own National Intelligence Council assessed, based on all the evidence available to the U.S. intelligence community, that Venezuela, the target of Trump's ire, is not sending criminal gangs to the United States or controlling them once they get here. The good news is that the courts are finally beginning to stir into action and issue orders blocking some of these and other executive branch actions that are patently illegal and unconstitutional. But in the meantime, if he can get away with abducting people off the streets of Somerville or Milford or Worcester, what's to stop him from doing it here in Clinton? Therefore, my ask of you is this: that the Board of Selectmen of the town of Clinton pass a resolution condemning the inhumane, immoral, illegal, and unconstitutional policy of mass roundups and mass deportations. That the chief of police and sworn officers of the Clinton Police Department be instructed not to cooperate with DHS or ICE officers who are executing those policies unless presented with a warrant signed by a judge or an indictment handed down by a grand jury charging an individual with a violent crime, in which case they should locate and apprehend the individual, turn him or her over to the proper state or federal prosecutors so they can be arraigned, tried, and if found guilty, punished according to the law, after which time ICE can deport them. Now, we're just a small town. What difference would such a resolution make? We are also free citizens of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the descendants of the men and women who fought for our freedom 250 years ago. Outside this hall, on the grounds of Central Park, is a statue bearing the names of 58 men from Clinton who fought and died during the Civil War. One of those men was First Sergeant Charles Clement Tidd, who helped fugitive slaves escape to freedom in Canada. How is protecting peaceful, hardworking immigrants who come here to our community and labor in our factories, clean our houses, pick fruits and vegetables on our farms, and bus tables in our restaurants any different? We owe it to our forefathers to stand up and say to the convicted felon sitting in the Oval Office, no, this is intolerable. It must cease, and we will not cooperate. If we can't do that, we might as well take that statue down, because we will dishonor those men who, as Abraham Lincoln put it 161 years ago, gave the last full measure of devotion to secure a government of the people, by the people, for the people. Clinton may be just a small town in the middling-sized state. Yet by our actions, we can inspire other cities and towns across the nation to steadfastly proclaim that they too reject the inhumane and criminal actions of the Trump regime and call on all Americans to stand together to oppose tyranny in whatever form it may take. The bottom line is this: you have all taken an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States, which I'm sure I don't have to remind you includes the Fifth Amendment. It stipulates that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. As a proud citizen of Clinton, I petition you to fulfill that obligation. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them at this point.
Any questions?
Thank
you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Good evening. My name is Russell Brady, and I live on Wilson Street. 17. Congratulations, Madam Chair. The reason I came up tonight, I'm one of the 11,000 voters we have in Clinton that did go to vote. 2 members of the board have been redone, recycled, with less than 10% of the registered voters in Clinton voting. We should be ashamed of ourselves, literally. You know, the fact that we don't have the item from Monday to Saturday is a huge difference. If I sat here and insulted one of the members of the board, in the old days, it'd be in the paper on Thursday morning. It'd be then again the rebuttal on Friday, and it'd be back in the paper on Saturday, and everybody in town knew what was going on. I don't think those 11,000 voters have a clue as to what is actually going on here in the town hall. You 3, Selectman Kovas, yourself, Selectman Kerrigan, have got to stand strong for what's right, not what's politically correct. It's right. And so far, you've done a very good job, and I encourage you to continue. Okay? That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the review of meeting minutes for May 21st, May 29th, and June 4th of 2025.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for May 21st, 2025, May 29th, 2025, and June 4th, 2025. Second.
It's motion seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Madam Chair, I abstain.
Abstain. 4 and an abstain. Next up is a Class 2 dealer license public hearing for 995 Main Street. The Select Board received an application for a Class 2 dealer license to transfer ownership from Onyx Auto Group LLC to operate at 995 Main Street in Clinton. Come on up. Hello.
Hello.
Can you state your name and addresses, please?
Yes, my name is Dal Silvins. I am a new owner of the Onyx Auto 9095 Main Street.
Okay.
I was a former owner, Alan, 640 Main Street, Clinton,
Okay.
Express.
So you're here to change ownership
Correct.
of the business? Anything you'd like to add or?
I don't think so, right?
Can I just ask a question? Now, 995, is that the old John's Pizza?
Yes, correct.
Yes. Okay,
So you're looking to have everything stay the same as it is? Your old license? You know,
Yes, keep the same, yeah, keep the same of it.
And Madam Chair, I believe the corporation is staying the same as well. You're just changing
Corporation, the EIN number is actually,
ownership of the.
we're just transferring the ownership. Yeah. I own Car Express as well. I have other business too. And we've been working together for a couple of years. So it's just time to step up and get Onyx going.
okay. Since this is a hearing, we'll open up this portion of the hearing for anyone here to speak in favor of this transfer.
I would just like to make a note that the property it is always very clean and organized. I think it's been a great addition to that part of town through the whole renovation and done a great job.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Anyone else? I will close that portion of the hearing, and is anyone here to speak in opposition of this transfer? Okay, we'll close that portion of the hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the change of ownership for Onyx Auto Group LLC at 995 Main Street.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, if, unrelated, but while you're here, the Car Express is at the Depot Square, the corner of Water.
Correct, yeah.
You gotta do a better job cleaning the snow out in wintertime. It's a disaster. It's a big corner and, I know I frequent it a lot and it's to get to the button push thing and everything. I know it's tough, but it'd be great if you could make that possible. Would you
Definitely do it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us know.
All right.
And then just one more piece.
Yes.
I know that there was some discussion about the lighting in the evening, about how it was going across the street.
Yeah.
And that's been addressed.
Yeah, we turn it off.
Very
Yeah.
good.
And all, yeah. So there's no more lights after 7 p.m.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 5-0.
Good luck.
Thank you so much. God bless you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is the town administrator report.
Madam Chair, just a few items I wanted to bring up with the board. First, just to let the board know, the police chief held a recruitment fair or open house on Monday. Now that there won't be hiring through civil service, just trying to get the word out. And they had about 15 to 20 people show up, so I think it was a good turnout, a good interest. The chief gave a presentation, and then they kind of had members of the staff there to answer questions and kind of do a little open house discussion. So I think that went very well, and they have 3 openings currently at the police department, so they'll be moving forward on trying to fill those spots as well. So the next, I just want to give the board an update. Last night, the permanent building committee met and they approved the construction contract for the carriage house, renovating that to a fitness center. So that project will get started this summer. I think the contractor is ready to go. So hopefully that now can move forward. There were some funding issues, but the staff at the senior center have been able to do some outreach and got some donations and fundraising to make that happen. So it's just good news. Just update on a couple items that we talked about the last meeting. On the IT upgrade, most of the town hall computers have been issued. The company's looking to do the email migration switch over to Microsoft 365 on June 30th. So hopefully then that will get everyone into the new platform. So the computers they'll be continuing now in the other buildings, issuing the computers. The new platform will be up and running for the cloud. And then once that's running smoothly, they'll be coming backfilling with the phone, IP phones as well too. So
We get a ton of spam on that Selectman account. Is there something we should be looking for as far as like an email address? I don't like to click on things over there because it's all garbage. So is there one we should be looking for as far as, or do we need to take any steps to migrate?
yeah, no, what they're going to do is they're going to send me the instructions and kind of detailed, and then I'll send out an email to all the
Thank you.
users. So it'll have kind of a step-by-step of how to proceed with it. Yep. So. The next item, just the e-permitting. The new building commissioner is very excited to get started on the e-permitting. So he's gotten access to the system. So he's going to there's an internal site where he can kind of do some practicing and kind of work it. This particular company software is new to him. He has used it in his previous job, but as he indicated, a lot of the programs are fairly similar, so that he will just get himself familiar with it. And once he's ready, we'll then post a live link on the website, and then people can start logging in and completing applications online. So that should be good to go. So, and the last item that I have, just to inform the board that I did have a letter this week from Joyce Corbacero resigning her position with the town of Clinton. I just wanted to take a moment to thank her for years of service to the community and for the help that she's given me and wish her well in the future. So, thank you.
Yes, thank you,
Madam
Joyce.
Chair,
Yes.
if I may, I
Mhm.
want to thank Joyce for all her years of service. I think she was here when I first started, at least on the select board, if not the school committee in the past. She's been a dedicated public servant. She's done an awful lot of good work here, and I'm personally sorry to see her go. And on behalf of the voters and the taxpayers, I thank you for your service.
Madam Chairman,
Mhm.
as well, I would like to say thank you, Joyce, for all your years being here, 22 years. Done a great job and hate to see you go, but wherever you're going, I wish you much success.
Yes, thank you. Best of luck on your next chapter. Um, Michael, next meeting, can we get an ARPA update on where those projects stand?
Okay.
I can put it on the agenda or you can add it as your town administrator report.
Yep, no, I'll reach out to the departments and see where they are on some of the projects. I think there has been some movement since we talked about it. So,
Okay. Thank you. Next up is administrative business. We have 3 one-day liquor license requests. First one is from the Melody Maker. Is requesting a one-day liquor license in conjunction with their anniversary celebration to be held on Saturday, June 1st, 2025 from 12 PM to 4 PM.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the one-day liquor license for the Melody Maker to be held on Saturday, June 21st, 2025, from 12 PM until 4 PM.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 5-0. Next up, we have Jack's Mill requesting a one-day liquor license in conjunction with their grand opening celebration to be held on Wednesday, July 16th, 2025, from 3 PM to 7:30 PM.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the one-day liquor license for the grand openings of Jack Mills to be held on July 16th, 2025, from 3 PM until 7:30 PM.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 5-0. Next is Clinton Turn Vrain is requesting a one-day liquor license for a number of events being held in their outdoor pavilion during the month of June 2025. A list of these.
Yes, so it looks like.
I'm looking at. No, it's true.
By. I can start going. I mean, can we just do a blanket or does it?
We got June 13th.
Yeah.
I think you can vote.
Just, okay. Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the one-day liquor license request for the Turner Pavilion on the dates provided within the packet.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 5-0. All right, next up is old and new business. First up is town administrator search update. Just wanted to alert the board that our human resources manager has identified the top 5 candidates. We had determined that we would have a small search committee for the first round of initial candidates. And that would be me, myself, the HR manager, and Don Lowe, who's a former town administrator and Clinton resident. So Ray's provided us with all of the information. He is reaching out to candidates, and we have 2 dates blocked off the second week of July for initial interviews for those candidates. So just want to make you aware of that.
Madam Chair,
Sure.
is the mission of the screening committee to reduce the pool to a recommendation to the board?
Yes, and determine if these first 5 candidates are, I think, quality candidates, and if they're still interested in the position.
And at that point, will they be making a recommendation to the board
Yes.
of more than one candidate?
Well, we'll see how the interviews go. So if we meet with 5 people and the initial committee feels like they're not 5 quality candidates, then we'll put forth a recommendation. But
You won't-
hopefully that will be the case.
So this board will get to interview at least 3 candidates and choose from a pool of.
Ideally, yes. We're just
Okay.
moving forward. And I mean, that's pretty standard operating position, I think, for most of the hiring that I've done. And that was kind of the decision of the board, so.
Uh,
We didn't put a number to it.
Not
Yeah,
really
exactly.
a standard operating procedure. This whole search is like watching a dog chase its tail. And I'm not sure who wins in the end. Any search that I've ever been a part of or been aware of has had a large pool of selection committee doing the initial cutouts. You take 54 candidates and a screening committee brings them down to 5 and recommends 3 to 5 to the hiring authority, is the way I've seen it done in my career. And I can give you a list of where those situations occurred. And it's been this whole process, there's been no public input, no solicitation of public wants and needs, or department heads participating. Those are all important, critical factors in the hiring of a town administrator. This is the face of the town of Clinton to anyone that comes to town. And it's all being done in darkness. And this is a board that is full of transparency in everything they say and everything they want to do. And there's been zero transparency here. You have, and please don't take offense, but the least experienced member of the board and the least experienced town employee, the human resources person, is been here for 5 or 6 months. And they are essentially picking who the next town administrator is going to be. Right up until now, that's who's been doing it. And it sounds like we're going to be lucky if we get to talk to 2 people.
Madam
This-
Chair,
Yeah, this.
I would encourage Mr. Connolly to stick to the facts. This is not the campaign trail. This is the job we have to do.
And those are the facts I know.
I believe I have.
As you know them.
Don't know the facts. Okay.
Okay,
You should
then
watch the shows on
educate
TV because everything that is involved in this search has been on television, has been here. Nothing's been happening behind the scenes. We have an HR manager who's a professional. I don't believe you had that when you were doing your searches.
Nope.
Okay. We have someone who screened those 50 candidates down to 14. The board had the option, one declined. 4 of us looked at those candidates, ranked them. Now we have a small search committee, or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah. First
Screening.
level screening committee, yeah.
who's going to talk to those people, since we tried to hire a professional search firm to do all this like we did for the last successful assistant town administrator search, but we were hamstrung by the finance committee. So now we're doing the best we can and being criticized for it. We have our ranked candidates. We have what I think is a qualified screening committee that will bring to this board the best. If we're unsatisfied with that, we don't need to pick any of them and we can go back out and look again. There's no, I'm dying to know
Yeah.
what the secret conspiracy theory is. The Perry Mason moment where you're going to slap something on the table and show everyone in town how you got us. If you got it now, just show us. Let's please
The only,
tip your hands.
okay, do I have the floor now?
Please, I yield.
Yes.
The only people that know who these candidates are and right down to the 5 is the chair and the HR person, neither of which I have necessary experience to be doing this all on their own.
In your opinion.
In my opinion, yes, absolutely. Everything I say is my opinion.
Well, I take
And it's-
offense to that. I've hired many people and the process is very similar across the board.
can't even
Any
tell
further
me
discussion?
I'm gonna.
I'm not going to announce the candidates' names when they have not been notified. I'm not going to publicly put them in that position if at this point they've maybe seen these meetings and said, no, thanks. So yeah, you're right. I'm not going to, until they have been notified and we have started with the screening, all of their names have been redacted. And I've just seen them as of yesterday. So,
Madam Chair. I was on the committee that led to the eventual hiring of Dr. Meyer, who I know you hold with high regards. When we went through that process, at no point did we say, we are going to find 7 candidates to make a recommendation to the school committee. Based upon who was qualified at that time, the recommendation was then decided, okay, these are the candidates we foresee as being viable for the school committee to choose. So whether it was 1 or whether it was 7, we basically were leaving it up to the applicants to kind of sort through that. So whether it's going to be 2 or 5, the select board had made the decision on whatever that recommendation of that committee brings forth is what we would interview. We had the input, as was mentioned earlier, to score the candidates based upon what was pulled. But there definitely seems to be, we talked about the respect of our town employees, and our human resources manager has been on the receiving end of many moments of disrespect in questioning his professionalism, questioning his experience, and it's not substantiated. And we can sit up here and talk about these are the facts that I have, but the reality is there's only one set of facts, and the rest of it is baseless. So we have been very forthcoming through the process, even to the point where the select board was going to be part of the initial interviewing, which was going to have to be done in open session, which the majority of the board was supportive at that time. So I don't know how much more transparent that can get, but as I agree with Mr. Kerrigan, the aha moment I'm waiting for, and I hate to be to give the spoiler alert, but it's not going to come because there's never been anything that has been anything but forthcoming.
If I may, the only thing I've said consistently about this whole process is I don't think a 4-person committee is the right way to go. And I've said from the very beginning, I thought it should have been a committee where you went out and you had someone from the business community, a broader committee, possibly 7, and that you went from the 53 applicants and brought it down to whatever it was, 14 or wherever. And then you weighted it down from that point. I mean, that was a lot of applicants, and I would have liked to have seen a more cross-section of people that were looking at those applications. And I've been consistent on how I felt about that. So, and I don't see that that's a gotcha moment or anything. I think that's just, it was my opinion. I've been in the minority. That's fine. But that's how I felt about it. And I still feel that way about it.
Madam Chair.
And I don't think we need a consultant. We needed a consultant to help us in that process. So
Say that one
you
more time?
don't, you
I
said,
said, I don't feel we needed a consultant to help us in that process.
okay. All right. Any further discussion? Okay, last comment? Last comment? Last comment on this.
It's not even a comment, it's a request. Can I be provided with the same resumes that the rest of the board was provided with? So at least I can familiarize myself with whether, I don't know, was it 13 or 15? And I, as a voting member of this board, be provided with those same resumes so that I can at least acquaint myself with the backgrounds of the potential candidates.
I don't have a problem with that.
I'll have them on my bag if you want those.
Yeah.
I would appreciate it.
Um,
However I can do.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, moving on. annual WRTA transportation contract. The Wachusett Regional Transit Authority has sent their annual contract to provide a van for the Clinton Senior Center. We have to,
This is just.
is that just a notification?
Chair,
or-
they provide the van, with
don't see it in
WRT
there.
provides a van for the senior center, so, this is just a regular administrative item.
No action required.
It just, I guess to adopt it, the board can make a motion to enter into the agreement because we do ask the chair to sign it. So as long as, everyone's okay.
Madam Chair,
Mhm.
I'll make a motion to approve the annual WRTA transportation contract to provide a van for the Clinton Senior Center.
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Thank you.
5-0. Next up is donation request. The Clinton firefighters sent a letter requesting a donation to sponsor their annual fireworks event to be held on Saturday, July 12th.
Madam
Did
Chair.
we note the, yeah,
Do we have the amount?
5,000?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the Clinton firefighters' request for a $5,000 donation to their annual fireworks event to be held on Saturday, July 12th, 2025.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just a reminder, there's no telephone solicitation, so if you're getting a call from someone from the fire department looking for money for this, it's a scam. So if you're interested in donating, please reach out to the fireworks committee directly.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 0.
Thank you.
Next up is the budget process review and feedback. I think each year we try to make incremental improvements on the budget process. Some of the, I know that the chair of the finance committee has, usually worked on a schedule, starting with an initial meeting in November to outline it, to try and make sure we have plenty of time to review. I think last year I sent out emails to department heads to solicit feedback. So just wanted to put that out for future discussion. If anyone has any feedback on the budget process, would like to review that. I think some of the initial feedback was just, I think it's challenging to get groups of people together, especially in the springtime, which kind of pushes it. The hearing was right before town meeting. It would be great to add some breathing room to that schedule, even within the town bylaw guidelines. So, looking at other towns, their finance committee meets once a month. Want to make sure that we have like ample time to review it, and that might be putting meetings on our calendars well in advance to try to do so. But I'll reach out to the finance committee chair and just let her know that we're interested in maybe just having a larger discussion on what the timeline is, and then if there's any improvements to it. I think one year we put that cover sheet on so that we could get a quick idea of what their significant budget increases were, added some commentary to it. Tried to get each of the budgets 48 hours in advance of our meetings so that we had time to review and solicit questions. So just looking to, I think, improve upon that process each year.
Madam Chair, just one thing. Mr. Ward had provided a spreadsheet that went back 5 fiscal years during this budgeting process, which was incredibly helpful to be able to see side by side how budgets have grown and you know, the more data that we have available, the more accurate our decision making can be, because sometimes it seems like there can be some arbitrary decision making taking place, but I think the more data that we can be provided, as well as from the departments, then we can give every department what they need to the best of the taxpayers' ability.
Okay, so I would just ask if anyone has any specific feedback to document it so that when this topic comes back up, we can review it. Okay. Next up is committee
Oh,
report.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
I had a couple things.
Okay.
Under old, at our December 18th meeting, we approved annual license renewals. At that time, I brought up something that John Busno, our former colleague, introduced, that no licenses should be approved without checking to see if someone owed the town, whether taxes or anything like that. Mr. Kobus, I'm looking back at the minutes, made the motion to make sure that that was contingent upon all taxes and fees are satisfied. I haven't been able to verify it myself, but member of the public said they did an investigation that or pulled some things and said that at least one business is, you know, 5 figures in the red as far as taxes. And so I just want to make sure that I'm not sure who was supposed to be doing the checking on this, but it's been 6 months later. And if a business has a common vic license and they owe $16,000 in taxes, as this person asserts, then we have a big hole. And there were similar properties that may or may not. I guess there was a question from this member of the community about building permits and things like that, if these things were being assigned without checking. And I know we're a bit transitional as far as the treasurer collector goes, but it confused and saddened me. So if there's any way we could look into, and we can talk offline about the specifics, but I just wasn't sure if.
Yeah, no, if there are any specific cases, we'll certainly look into it. At the renewals, the list of the licenses were sent to the collector's office to go through them, and we got to report back to them, you know, if there were any that were a problem. So, so if there is something that was on there or should have been on there, and certainly would like to know.
Terrific. I'll follow up offline. Secondly, I wanted to thank Mr. Craig. I invited him. He sent a letter. It's in our packet. And so I just wanted him to amplify it. It's been something that's been on my mind, and I'm happy to draft a resolution. I think as a town of immigrants, I don't think it matters whether someone speaks Irish or Polish or German or Italian or Spanish or Brazilian. If we as public servants can't stand up for basic human rights of the members of our community, then I'm not sure why we're here. So I'm happy to draft something for future consideration. I did talk to Chief Coyne today, and happily he said that his force, as I should have suspected, has received training both in the building and from the Chiefs Association and other public safety organizations about how to handle these things, and they're handling it correctly so far. In fact, ICE has, for the most part, been sneaking in and out of town when they're doing their things. So it makes it very difficult, as you can imagine. I don't want to speak for the chief, but for people in our business who have to answer questions from scared members of the community, to have federal officials coming in here and scooping people up without any kind of explanation is troubling. And I imagine there are a lot of people in the community who are scared right now, and I feel where you're coming from, and I'll do the best I can to make it better. Thank you.
Anything else?
No.
Next on our agenda is committee reports.
Yeah, I just have an update. Hopefully by our next meeting, we'll have the new regulations on the Class 2 licenses. So
Great.
we hope to finalize that and have it for the board to approve, because
Great.
that would be on criteria of the board. board's authority.
Okay, thank you for the update.
Old Home Day Committee.
Mm-hmm.
So the dates for Old Home Day will be September 5th and 6th, 2025. And right now, the forms, the vendor applications can be filled out at oldhomeday.com. That's OLDE, homeday.com. If you go to the Old Home Day Committee link on the town's website, it will redirect you right to there. And we'll be having more information posted as it becomes available.
Thank you.
Let me just throw one more thing out there for the fire department, the fireworks show. There was one piece on there that I'd like to just point out that
Okay.
that this year's this year's performance will be in the name of Jack Watu, who had made after as part of his passing, they had donations were suggested to go to the
Oh.
fireworks show. And he's a longtime neighbor. He's a longtime neighbor of ours. But thank you for that.
Thanks. Community announcements. Doesn't look like we have any, but I'll note that as of July 1, the Department of Public Works has said that for curbside recycling, everything needs to be in the green bins. This is starting July 1st, so I will put something out on our social media as well, but just a reminder that everything's in it now, not beside it. They've sent some photos. There's some egregious recyclers out there, so it would be very helpful if everyone could put things in the green bins. Okay. Right. So now we will be moving from open session to a closed executive session to discuss, to 4 closed executive sessions. First one being Article 3, police union negotiations. The second one is Article 3, police chief contract. Next one is Article 3, police lieutenants, MOA. And Article 3 is the town administrator's contract. We will not be returning to open session. I will take a roll call to enter into executive session.
Where do you start? With you, Bill. Me.
Yep.
Bill Conley, aye. Sean Kerrigan, aye.
Julie Bruce, aye.
Matt Kovasai.
Mary Dick, aye.